Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Rambling Toffee podcast. I am Mark. I hope everybody's doing really, really well today. And, we should be really doing really, really well today. I wish we it was, it feels like Christmas has come early. Um, what a week. 3 games that we've had, not Forest, Newcastle, and Chelsea, and coming away with all 3 points in all those games, not conceding, playing really well, that everything about it, it was just such a wonderful, wonderful week. And all the struggles and everything that we've gone through this season, also the points deduction, the relegation scraps that we've had, the board, the takeover, the whole shit show, and I'm sorry if I swore then, that we have been through over the last 3 or 4 years. It was nice to see finally on the field, which is what we should be always talking about, coming together and actually seeing a team finally growing and going in the right direction and going where we want it to go. And watching the team play, it was like watching the Moyes teams, the Joe Royal team, the Dogs of War, the team that were full of characters, full of names, full of leaders, people that, what you wanted to see in your team, going out there and putting in a performance and a plan. You know, that's what we've always wanted. And the big thing is about something called patience that I think football fans, and I'm included in this, finding that patience, to be in the position that we currently are. Yes, there's still a lot of work to go. We're already in December. We've got a lot more games coming up. We've got an opportunity to get into the semi final of the Carabao Cup, but there's a lot of work to be done. We may get a chance to get some players in the January window. I don't know if that'll happen or not because of money wise. But it's wonderful what results can do to your mental health. But it's seeing those performances, seeing players, as I mentioned, leaders, characters, players that are playing for each other, players that like each other and care about one another as a team, and you can see it on the field. And you saw it yesterday when Lewis Dobbins scored in near the end of the game, and his first goal for the club. He's a young lad. He's trying to get breaking into team. He's the future of the club, and he scores that goal. And you just saw the reaction, not just from the bench and the manager and the fans in the stadium, but the players and how they all went right to him. And that is wholesome and wonderful to see. And long may it continue. Yes, we're going to have bumps in the road further down the line, but let's go back in time. Let's go back in time. Let's start this week. I talked about the Forest win and how committed that was, and how we had to battle. Especially near the end of the second half, we got the goal, but they came back at us, and they could have had a penalty, and we got a bit of luck with that one. But we came away with a result. What we needed was a big, big win that we needed at that point in time. We've just come off the 10-point deduction. We lost to Manchester United, where I mentioned that in the first half, where we put the ball in the back of the net in that game, then we we could have won that game quite easily. But it was just it just didn't happen on that occasion. But again, when I mention about patience, it's in games that we've seen this season where Sean Dyche has said that we created opportunities, we got ourselves in them positions. It just didn't go in the back of the net. And of course, what happens next is if you don't score, there's the chance that the opposition will score, and that's what we've seen several times at home this season. Away from home has been different. The setup's been different. We've been able to actually get results, and we get the hub and in those games. But it was trying to get that form and that kind of set up to the team to come home and actually put that performance in front of its own fans. And what we saw against Newcastle and against Chelsea is what we finally are seeing. We're getting the ball in the back of the net. We're doing the job of scoring the goals, and that comes from something very, very simple. It's called confidence. Players, continuity with players, everybody playing week in, week out, and that has been building and building and building. We've seen it on the road. We're now hopefully going to start seeing it more and more at home. We're going to become more and more harder to beat and be more difficult to go against for opposition teams when they come to Goodison Park. So yeah, what we saw against Newcastle was it was the typical same team, and that's what we want. It's a continuity there. We're missing, of course, Anana, but you know it was the same team that played against Forest. We had chances in the first half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin had that chance, and I couldn't believe why he didn't score it. But and then we also had Dwight McNeil had one that dragged it wide. So we had the opportunities in the first half. You know, good old Anthony Gordon coming back, and basically he had a couple of chances in the game, of course, but other than that, he was very, very muted. And then this is what we're seeing. Seamus was back in the team because of obviously missing. Sorry, we did miss players. We were missing Jimmy Garner because he was sick. But we moved Jack Harrison into the central area, and Ashley Young had a good game on the right wing, and Jack Harrison played it more centrally and was more nearer to Calvert Lewin, and it was one of his better games he's had of late. And Decore obviously moving more in a defensive midfield position. But yes, you know, the first half we created some opportunities. It was kind of cagey in some ways. It was just how it was. But we got to the second half, ranked up the pressure more. We pressed more. We put more pressure on their defensive line, and of course, we got the errors that were by our new signing Trippier, who passed the ball to Dwight McNeil to get the first goal, and what a fantastic goal that was! Absolutely, and it just shows his confidence where he's at this moment in time. He scored that goal against Forest, which was a wonderful goal. Getting that goal, and it was a man of the match performance in my mind for me on Thursday night. And then not long after that, again, Jack Harrison hassling Trippier again. Got the ball, nice simple pass through Decore, bang into the other corner as the goalkeeper went the other way. 2-0. Absolutely fantastic. You've done all the hard work and all the commitment. And Newcastle are a good team, despite the fact that they're supposedly fatigued and also they are missing some players and got some injuries. So be it. But you know, we have. I'm fed up. Sorry for digressing here. I'm fed up with commentators bringing up excuses. Oh, the reason why they're not playing well, and this is proved the reason why they lost the game is because we didn't they got the injuries and they're fatigued and they're tired. So we're Everton. We have to play week in, week out. Newcastle have got hundreds of millions of pounds worth of value of players. They're in the Champions League. They want to go up further up the table. They want to win trophies. They want to win titles. That's what they want to do. And they've got the money and they've got the players, at their disposal. Just because they've had a few injuries, they still got a very good team to go out there and get the job done and do a job, but they didn't. And they just come off a 1-0 win at home against Manchester United, playing really, really well. So, they shouldn't use that excuse. And I'm just fed up with commentators and pundits, making up excuses for teams like this all the time. And it just degrades the team like Everton who put that work and put that commitment in and put that type of performance in to get a result. We're in a tougher position than they are, and we got a smaller squad. We had James Garner out injured with a sickness bug. We had to move the team around, and basically we don't have the money and the ability to have a bigger squad at this moment in time. So you know that's just my take on that. Well, let me know what you think. But there was just complete disrespect. And of course, it was 2-up, and we're getting near the end of the game. Beto had come on, hassling their central line as usual, and then something that I've not seen Everton do for a long, long time. And people who, follow Sean Dyche in his career would never set a team up to be a 30 team pass to a goal. But, wow, it was just back into, it was crisp football. We weren't giving the ball away, full of confidence, full of belief, full of drive and wanting, you know, be in control of the game near the end and wanting to get a third. And that's what happened. Wonderful pass down the line by Nathan Patterson. Beto going in, bustling in, got his first goal. And I'm really, really pleased for him. And I'm really pleased that he's got his first goal. And we're going to see hopefully a lot more really good results, good performances from him when he gets the chances to come on and, hopefully do his thing. Yes, he's gangly. Yes, he's a bit tall and he's going to frustrate, I would guess, a lot of us at times. But I think that goal will do him a world of good and give him the confidence that he needs going forward. So yes, 3-0, absolutely fantastic performance, and it was like everything about it, the atmosphere. As I mentioned, I wish I was there. I'm not still not feeling well at the moment, but I wish I was there. I wish I was, in that atmosphere and the feeling behind it. It was on the TV, it was on Amazon. I watched it on there. I thought, just to digress for a second, I just thought, the banners in the park end was absolutely fantastic. And again, protests regarding the 10-point deduction and everything about that was again fantastically done, well organised by the 1878, and long may it continue. It continued on, but it was it was just a really, really good performance and a momentum which was being built. And I think, as I mentioned, with games that we've done won away from home, we wanted to build a momentum. Every time we seem to be getting somewhere, we always seem to back, two wins. I think it was away from on one occasion. I think it was Brentford, and then we played at home to Luton, and we lose to Luton, and it was like we went two steps forward and one step back, and this momentum hopefully will continue on. And obviously, we move into the Chelsea game. I did go to that game, and it was yesterday. Again, the atmosphere was fantastic. Again, we didn't have the cards and the post, but we had the banners out for the protest for the deductions and for the 10-point deduction. And the atmosphere was there. The players went out there, worked extremely hard. Chelsea are a really, really good team. They've got a team full of individuals, and I think there were several players in that team that were worth over 100 or bought for 100 million. It's a team that's spent over 80, over 100, over £1 billion of players, um, and they, individually they're very, very talented and very, very good. And hope, at some points in time, Pochettino they will get better and they will improve and probably be challenging further up the table. But at this point in time, they came against an Everton team that were well organised, confident, knew what they were doing, tactical setup very well, know what the plans were, hard to, in your face, full of characters, full of leaders, and we made sure that, we knew that they were going to pass and pass and pass and create opportunities. Some good saves from, Jordan Pickford in the game. It was great to have James Garner back in. Ashley Young moved back to a left, the right back position. Was it right back? Yeah, right back position. And everything was reserved. Jesse Gay was in the team. He got booked early on for a very, very silly for a challenge that I think was I don't know, was it a challenge? It may have been a foul, but I don't think it was a booking. But anyway, I digress. I think he tired a lot in that first half, and obviously Sean Dyche made the right decision to change it and bring Anana on, fresh as you want. I felt Jack Harrison did some good things in the game, but I felt he tired as well. So it was a decision to bring Lewis Dobbin on in that front. we'll come back to that in a minute. But yes, first half it was basically a lot of defensive work, but we still created opportunities. We had the Jack Harrison volley, which nearly went in, and we did get ourselves into positions to get the balls in the box and get her in the positions. But it was a game that basically they had a lot of possession. We had to work hard off the ball. I thought the performances of Jared Branthwaite and Tarkovsky and Mikolenko especially, I thought was his best performance in a blue shirt. Mikolenko yesterday, he got to everything and anything. He made it hard for the right wingers to get into the get in and get across, and he was doing his job absolutely fantastically. And he was my man of the match. I thought he just took it off Jared Branthwaite as for performances, but for me, it he's just growing and growing and getting better and better as the game, as the games go on. And long may it continue for him. And I'm just pleased for him because of all the issues he's got, with family in Ukraine and the issues over there, and coming to this country and adapting and getting settled into this country. For me personally, I think a lot of people, plus myself, felt that he was not a Premier League standard player. I thought he was more Championship, but well, I'm eating humble pie that he's growing, growing, and growing and getting better. And I'm just so happy for him going forward. And long may it continue for him, and hopefully we can keep that defensive line as together as long as possible without any injuries. I know yesterday afternoon, I think Branthwaite got his fifth bookable offence, so he's going to miss the Burnley game. So it's just one game, so it will be interesting who Sean Dyche will choose to take his position against Burnley on Saturday. But yes, the first half was what it was. It was defensively very very good, keeping them at bay, doing our jobs, working hard, and putting that effort in. And it took obviously Idrissa Gay half time, took him off. I actually thought it was for the booking to make sure he didn't risk. But then again, he was already going to be missing the game against Burnley as well, so that's another player obviously out for that game. But we've got Anana who came back in and I think settled back into the game like you've not been away. James Garner just doing his usual things, getting around, trying to get the balls forward and everything else. And then the second half, of course, all that persistence, all that pressure that Chelsea were trying to put on us, we broke away through Dwight McNeil, who that pace that he has, and a wonderful ball to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The keeper saves it, comes out, an absolutely fantastic strike from Decore, who hit the ball in the other direction where the goalkeeper was going in the other way. He did exactly the same thing he did against Newcastle. 1-0 up. Truly deserved, I felt, as much as all the possession and what Chelsea had. They didn't create that many opportunities in the game if you feel like it. I know Jordan Pickford had to make it one or two saves in the first half, but second half he didn't really have anything to save except for any ones that come went right at him. But defensively, we were just on top of them and snuffed out any opportunity that they did do. And I think the more that happened, the more we grew in that confidence and we got ourselves in positions that we could added to it. But obviously, of course, Lewis Dobbin came on. I was a bit perplexed why he was just standing and waiting for about 2 or 3 minutes to come on the pitch because I felt Jack Harrison has tired himself out and run himself into the ground because he was just giving the ball away, and it was looking likely that at that precise moment that Chelsea were forcing themselves back into getting themselves into opportunities and taking the mistakes that we are making, and it seemed to be coming more and more from Jack Harrison, just giving the ball away a little bit too much. So he came off for Lewis Dobbin, and then we got 7 minutes of injury time. We were thinking where all them minutes come from, but I'm guessing from probably the Branthwaite injury, and obviously the VAR check for the first goal. So I can say what, but it was 7 minutes, and then we got the corner, of course. Great corner. punched out by the Chelsea goalkeeper, and Lewis Dobbin absolutely blasted that. Wonderful, wonderful control of the ball as he hit it, and it just went straight in that corner. Wonderful see, young lad, absolutely pleased for him. He's been sitting on the bench. He's been waiting for his opportunity to. He's been on loan last season at Derby, and he's got all the potential there. He's very pacey, very quick, and to see him score that goal, it was fantastic for him. And it just shows you the unity that's currently there with the team. How everybody went right over to him and to support his first goal, and that is what is so fantastic about the team at the moment and what Sean Dyche has done. As I mentioned about Sean Dyche, I've been critical this season of decisions regarding the substitutions and when he making them or and in many decisions that he's made, especially specifically at home and players that why they playing him or like Ashley Young. I think I've still quite persistent with why he still plays him, but he's playing him. He believes in him. He believes he can do a job. He's the manager, and as much as that, it's my view, and I still stick with it. Um, he's there. He makes them calls and he makes them decisions, and well, we're winning football matches, and he's obviously making the right calls and right decisions. So long may it continue, and it looks like what we're seeing now is a making of a team that not just is hard to beat, that is full of character and full of leaders and full of belief and players that when I talk about characters, that they're not just off the field characters, but strong characters that we're starting to see more and more of. And of course, we've got Seamus. Yeah, Ashley Young has got his experience, but you've got Tarkovsky, who's through battles after the game, specifically after the Newcastle game when Tarkovsky was flying in to protect Jared Brantwaite and to push his you get away from my players or our team, get away, you know stop the trouble from happening. And of course the incident that happened after the Chelsea game, where I found out today they're not going to do anything about it, when I just felt the player got hold of Nathan Patterson's neck, grabbed hold of it, and if that happened on the field and it was seen by VAR or the referee saw it, he would have been sent off. And the fact is that if it's true what I've seen on Twitter today, that they're not doing anything, they're not. In fact, there was no issue to actually caution him or do anything. I just think it's absolute joke, and it just shows you the issues that we have with PGMOL and also the Premier League, and how they're not fit for purpose, and something has to give, and something has to change, because it's weekly occurrence, little incidences like that. But as I mentioned, we are seeing a team full, of characters and leaders. We've seen with Tarkovsky, Anana, with the characters and fun characters that they're becoming. Um, you know, they're probably a great group to be around, and it's just wonderful to see Everton playing this way. It's just a shame that we've got 10-point deduction on us. We could have been in a position that challenging for European spots. That's how silly it is, and hopefully the appeal will mean that we'll get rescinded the points deduction or a reduction of it. We'll have to wait and see. I'd rather know sooner rather than later. That's not just for me as an Everton fan, but also, I think the rest of the Premier League, but the teams around us will probably want to know what we're going to get back and what's going to happen in that sense. But what we're seeing is a team growing in confidence, a small team, and as we noticed after the Chelsea game, we're going to be missing Brantwaite and we're going to miss Idrissa Gay. But Anano come in for Idrissa Gay, and Michael Keane or Ben Godfrey will come in for Jared Brantwaite. We'll see on Saturday which player he's going to go with. I suspect it's going to be Michael Keane, as much as I think he shouldn't be really at the club now. I think his time at the club has come over. I think he needs to move on. But he's still there, and Sean Dyche does see something in him. What, I don't know. But he's the manager, I'm not. And he's making the right calls at the moment because we're getting results. So it's on him. If it falls flat on his face and it doesn't work out, and he does play him, then that'll be on to the manager. So it's simple as that, isn't it? Um, but let's not kill the momentum. We are moving in a direction that we all want, and it would be great if we could add to that in January and we can bring one or two players to strengthen the squad, specifically at the back as well, because as I mentioned about Michael Keane and Ben Godfrey, because there's rumours about Ben Godfrey going to Tottenham. But if they're going to be leaving, we need to have backup for Tarkovsky and Branthwaite, and we need, hopefully they'll have money in the market. But I don't know with the takeover. Still not heard anything yet. Still nothing announced. The rumor went flying around that it's not going to happen because they're being investigated by the FBI and everything else, and it's just going to fall flat, and it's not going to get. They're not going to get the approval that they want. So watch this space on that one. Yeah, so absolutely fantastic week, wonderful results, positive results. Sean Dyche is doing a really, really good job. His coaching staff are doing a really, really good job. I want to put shouts out to the 1878 for the organising of the protests and the banners and the cards and everything else. I saw on Thursday the sea of green in the park end of the corrupt banners, corrupt cards, and it was wonderful to see. And we continue on, we continue pushing what we feel about the Premier League and how we feel about them and how corrupt they have become and how they are for the six and not for the many. Um, I can go on and on about the Premier League. But as we've seen this week, not just for the Premier League, but the PGMOL, with the Premier League, if you look at their TV deal, how much billions it is, and it's amazing that they still continue to get deals. But that's where, sadly, because where the TV companies they will spend all the money, but they have to have those six clubs in the league. They have to have them in. It's that's where if the clubs, the other 14 clubs, they want the money from the TV deal and you want to have that into their accounts, it's been accepted that those six need to be in the league. And it seems to be TV companies like Sky and TNT who bought the rights to the Premier League in 2025. They've probably said that we have to have those six clubs. We need them to be playing more often on the TV. We need it for our audience so we can get our ratings up. But I think the ratings for Sky Sports for football is quite low. It's not high as they will want it, but also they'll look at international deals. And I would guess the TV companies, say in America or Dubai or anywhere in the world, China, or will say that for us to spend money for the rights to show the Premier League, we want like on our TV, would like to see those teams playing more often than anywhere else because the audience or obviously their ratings or their audiences probably wants to see more of them than anybody else, and that's where money. That's where we're in this struggle as we can say what we feel about the Premier League, and it's just like it's going on deaf ears at the moment. But it feels that you know they're just going to focus to make sure that the six always get what they want, and they will get all the calls. And this is what we're seeing. It's been going on for years, and it seems to be continued that they'll get the calls, they'll get all everything for them, and it just feels that way. And for me, it's it's rotten to a core, and it just needs to be sorted out um, by the independent regulator. We need one in. We need it to not just do that. We need it to look at the Premier League as a whole, and to actually trying to eradicate any kind of corruption that is taking place in game, because the amount of money, billions of pounds of money coming into the Premier League, is very, very easy that where corruption can come in, where money's involved, and mass amounts of money. So yeah, so we'll see, but it's just something needs to give because it's just like they're getting away with it, and they're just going to keep on getting away with it until somebody like the independent regulator comes in and actually does something about it. And it also feels the same with PGMOL and all the VAR calls and all the issues that say Wolves have been having, we've been having. As I mentioned the incident yesterday where it looks like nothing's going to happen with it, that player's just going to get away with one. So it seems to be all right to actually strangle somebody. So it's things like that, and it can week in week out, and it seems to always be the six who get the decisions more than anybody else, and that's where the corruption comes into this, and that's where they keep themselves quiet and not say anything about it or deny it that there's any kind of corruption. But why do fans talk about it and think it is? It's because of what we're seeing week in week out, and it seems to be the top teams that get benefit more from it than anybody else does. Anyway, I think I've rambled on a little bit too far on that subject. Anyway, thank you for again listening to this podcast. Please give me some feedback or what you think about the episode. Um, I do love doing these. They're really, really, especially at the moment when we're winning football matches. It's been great to talk about the game, to talk about the team, talk about how we're playing, and that's all we want to talk about really. I think anything else besides the takeover and as I mentioned about the Premier League, I did talk about a bit about the Premier League and about the PGM MOL. But other than that, it's been about football. It's positive. It's moving forward. Long may it continue. Long may we can keep these performances up and keep on going in the right pathway. Um, and long may it continue because that's what we want as Evertonians. And it's just been great lately. So for now, thank you again for listening. I look forward to listening to doing another podcast next Monday. I'll say to everybody, have a great week, and I'll speak to you next week. Take care. Bye bye.